What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of WFAN Daily with your host, Pete Hoffman. Uh, the news came down last night at around 10 o'clock, which was really good because I was up. So we did a Rico Bronya, Evan and I. But I want to give my thoughts on the Freddy Peralta, Brandon Sproat, and Jett Williams trade. Obviously, Tobias Myers included as well in this. The New York Mets and David Stearns now have completely made a haul. They've hauled. This team is completely different than it was last year, and it feels like this is what David Stearns wants to do. He has wanted to build this New York Mets team to envision what he wants to go out swinging. So they sign or they make the trade Freddy Peralta, Brandon Sproat, Jett Williams. Is it too much for a 1-year rental? We don't know. We're not going to tell until a few years down the line here, okay? Because at the end of the day, Brandon Sproat could be a bust. Jett Williams could be a bust. And this one season of Freddy Peralta could be magical. And for 1 year, we get a solid pitcher, a solid quote-unquote ace. So that's the way I'm viewing it right now is what can you do for me now? And that's kind of how the Mets are viewing it. That's how David Stearns and Steve Cohen are viewing it. What can you do for me now? And Brandon Sproat can't do enough. He's not the ace of his staff. Jett Williams, he is not going to see time at all this season. Not with Luis Robert Jr. Being traded for. Not with, Marcus Semien playing second base and Bo Bichette playing third base and Polanco playing first, and you have Lindor at shortstop, and whether it's Beatty or Tyrone Taylor or whoever's going to be playing, or Carson Bench playing left field, and you got Soto right field. Where is Jett Williams playing? He's not. So for this 1 year, it is a risk. But this 1 year, Freddy Peralta is more valuable than Jett Williams and Brandon Sproat combined. Because Brandon Sproat's not going to be an ace this year. We just know that. Is it for the long run? Yeah. Could it hurt? Sure. But what I presented to Evan earlier, and this is what I will ask you. Do we think that Freddy Peralta is really going to be signed by David Stearns long term? No, we don't. Now, it could be. If there's a guy that's going to be signed by the New York Mets long term, it could be Freddy Peralta because it's David Stearns' guy. We see how he is with Tyrone Taylor. We see how he is with Devin Williams. He went out and attacked Devin Williams right away. Like we talk about all this offseason. It is now January 22nd as I'm doing this podcast. It took till January 22nd to get a starting pitcher, to get a starting center fielder, to get a third baseman or an infielder that we've been dying to get, or somebody of significance to this lineup. It took them this entire week, to, basically less than a month left to go till pitchers and catchers for them to go out and basically make the moves that we were begging for all offseason. But Devin Williams was signed right away. He went out and got Devin Williams. I know Devin Williams. I want him here. That's the guy. We're gonna grab him. We're gonna make him a good offer. End the story. Now, was it cheap? No, it wasn't dirt cheap. It wasn't like he was dealing with other, going back and forth and, hey, we were playing some games. No, he went to Devin Williams. This is what I want, or this is what we're going to do. Do you want it or not? And they gave him a good offer. They could have done that with Bo Bichette from the beginning. They could have done that with the Brewers from the beginning. Hey, what do you want for Freddy Peralta? Instead, they played these games to try to get the price that they wanted. Not, I want to go get the guy. And that's always my fight, whether it's Edwin Diaz or whoever else you want to talk about. Not even going to say names that everyone knows I'm going to say. But Edwin Diaz is a guy that they could have gotten if they were just normally aggressive. Hey, we can't lose Edwin Diaz. Go give him what he wants. Let's give him a nice offer. He's been a good player for us. He makes it easier. That's not the game that David Stearns plays unless he knows you, unless he likes you. All right? And that's what it feels like. He knows Devin Williams. He knows Tyrone Taylor. He was comfortable with Tyrone Taylor being the center fielder up until they got Luis Robert Jr. I mean, think about that. That's outrageous. So here's the deal. You have Freddy Peralta for 1 year. They may sign him just because of the love affair that David Stearns has for him. But if not, if Freddy Peralta is a one and done, would you trade Brandon Sproat and Jett Williams for Tariq Skubal? That is what I presented Evan. That is what I present you, because that is the pivot. Next year, the offseason. Now, there's going to be a strike probably. There's going to be a lot of issues going on with contracts and whatnot. But I'm telling you right now, if at the end of the day, Tariq Skubal is here next year, not Freddy Peralta, but Tariq Skubal, that was the trade. And I think everyone would go for Brandon Sproat and Jett Williams for Tariq Skubal. This is the buffer. They can't get Tariq Skubal right now because he's cost too much, and nobody's going to give up, 5 good pieces for a rental player. But because it's Scott Boras, Scott Boras is not going to allow him to go to a team and sign a deal. He's going to go to free agency. He wants the max. The Mets will give him the max. We see that now. That no matter who it is, if David Stearns and Steve Cohen want somebody, they will offer a max contract. They will give a ton of money. They don't care if it's $40, $50, $60 million a year. If it's somebody that they want and value, they will go and do it. Now, if Tariq Skubal's that guy, you will do that all day for Brandon Sproat and Jett Williams. You would make that trade right now. But it's not available. It's not available till next year, and all you have to do is sign him and give him big money. I would take that deal. I think anybody would take that deal. So that's the way that I'm looking at it. Now, again, it may not happen. Tariq Skubal may go to the Dodgers, of course. But the point is that's the way that you have to look at this deal right now. It is a one-year deal. Same thing with Bo Bichette. If I told you, and I hate to say that, be like that, but if I told you Bo Bichette doesn't come back next year, but they make a trade down the line or they bring in somebody else at third base or second base or wherever, outfield position, somebody else comes available and they snag them, but Bo Bichette doesn't come back. It's like, this is the piecemeal that we're going to get from David Stearns. I don't know for how long. I know when I spoke to Evan about it, he made it sound like it's not going to be forever. It's till the prospects come up. But here's the thing. If those prospects fail, this is the reality of the New York Mets for the next few years. That every single year, you may have 10 new faces to this team. And I'm not even just talking about the bullpen. I'm talking about the infield, the outfield. I'm waiting for them to turn on catching. It's a possibility that every single year, David Stearns is, all right, these guys, they were good for the time being. They've opted out. Now who's next? Now, what I wouldn't do, I would not buy a jersey for Freddy Peralta. I would not buy a jersey for Bo Bichette. I would not buy a jersey for Marcus Semien. The only jersey that I would contemplate buying right now is Juan Soto, because we know he's here for at least 4 more years. Remember, he's got the opt-out in 4 years. After the first 5, he gets an opt-out if he wants to. And if he opts out, the Mets can either say, no, you're staying here. We're going to have you the whole 15 years. Or David Stearns can say, go try to make more money. I dare you. So that is a concern. I'm not even lying. There is a possibility that Juan Soto is only here short term. Francisco Lindor, you never know. They could push him out in a few years. He's got a long-term contract. They could maybe trade him. I mean, if Brandon Nimmo moved on from his no-trade clause and said, you know what, I'll go to Texas, it would not shock me if Francisco Lindor said, I'll move on from my contract too if the time is right. And what makes the time right? A failing team. Now, next year, the 2026, I am not eyeing this team right now as a World Series contender. I am not putting them up as a top 5 team. I still have question marks, even with the people that they brought in. Marcus Semien, yeah, we can talk about the defense of Marcus Semien. We can talk about the defense of Luis Robert Jr. We can talk about the defense of Lindor and Bo Bichette. Well, we don't even know about Bo Bichette at third base or Jorge Polanco at first base. We could talk about the defense and the run prevention. I don't know how they're actually going to perform here in New York. And they have to score runs to win. We went through this for years with Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom was the best pitcher in baseball. We know that. And yet, he couldn't get more than 10 wins. Why? Because the offense sucked. And right now, this offense may be more contact hitting, which is good. That's something that I've loved. But they got to show me that they can actually drive in runs. They got to show me how they're going to actually put up multiple runs per game and not go through these pitching duels every single game. Because I'll tell you right now, besides Freddy Peralta and maybe Nolan McLean, I don't think there's another pitcher in the starting rotation that can go head-to-head, toe-to-toe with most pitching staffs. Like, I don't trust David Peterson to go a good 6 innings and be in a 1-0 game or a 0-0 game or a 2-0 game. I don't believe that. Clay Holmes, he's going to give up about 3 runs per game. That's what he's going to do. Whoever else that you think, whether it's Tyler McGill in the future, whether it's Jonah Tong, you name it. I don't trust these guys to have no-hit stuff every single day. And that's going to be a problem because if you can't score runs and you're giving up too many runs, whether you have a great defense or not, you can't prevent a guy from hitting it over the wall. You can't stop. You can't rob every single home run. It's impossible. Some of these things are moonshots. Luis Robert Jr. is not climbing the wall and stealing home runs left and right. So that's on the pitching. And the bullpen, we'll get there when we get there. I mean, it's okay, but again, the bullpen is always a crapshoot. So I still have a lot of question marks. They're not the best team in the NL East. They are still behind the Phillies, and I could even put the Braves ahead of them because the Braves are going to be healthy this year. So I'd even put them behind the Braves. So already in their own division, they are still only a top 3 team. They're in the middle of the pack. What about the rest of the league? What about the rest of the National League? What about the rest of the American League? Where do they fit? The Dodgers, we know, is numero uno. So already you're saying they're not even top 4. Yankees, maybe they're top 5. Maybe they're top 5. The Blue Jays are better than them. So there they go. They're out of the top 5. And we haven't even run through the entire league. It is not a team that is going to compete for a championship unless they get super lucky. And right now, they got lucky in 2024, going all the way to the NLCS. In 2025, they got the exact opposite of luck. We went through on the Rico Bronya podcast the worst losses of the season. There were 25 of them or so that we went through. That was the unluckiest 25 games you could pinpoint ever. I mean, between being no hit, between multiple times, like whether it's end of games being thrown out at home, you name it. That team was a soft team, and the core's gone now, and it's a whole different team. I still don't believe in them, but this is what David Stearns wanted, so we're going to have to see. All right, thank you again for checking out another episode of WFAN Daily. I'll be on with Craig at 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. We'll talk about, I'm sure, Met stuff, this, and whatever else you want to talk about. Giants, Jets, Nick speeding the crap out of the Nets, all that and more. You can check that out 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. on WFAN, also SNY TV from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then we'll do a Rico Bronya Friday night, and then I'll be hosting my normal shift Saturday morning, 2 to 5 a.m. Thank you again for checking me out at Hoff WFAN on all social media, TikTok, Instagram, and X. I will see you guys later. Thank you for listening to another episode of WFAN Daily. And, oh, by the way, if you like UFC, because UFC 324 is on this Saturday, which I'm pumped for, go check out my interview with John Anik, play-by-play for UFC. He sat down with me last week. It was a great, awesome time. And we talk all things UFC. Kind of bust his chops a little bit about the NFL, the New England Patriots and the Paper Tigers that they are. So check that out as well on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast, WFAN Daily. All right, guys. See you later. Peace.